Hello and welcome to another episode of the Unexpected Entrepreneur Podcast. Today we are back with one of our past clients, Jenni, talking all about the blogging experience. So before we kick everything off, do you want to introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Yes, please. My name is Jenni. My pronouns are they, them. I should have put it down here where my name was on the little chat thing. My bad. I figured you already knew. But yes, everyone listening, hello. I am a queer, non-binary, and neurodivergent photographer based in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I love celebrating queer and non-traditional people that are living and loving on their own terms. So anything from self-love, sort of creative portrait sessions to surprise proposals, weddings, anything. It's much more about the kind of people than the actual work that's being done, but chiefly love-related things. The end.
I will say, if you ever need something to just like look at and smile, all of the people that you work with are just so genuinely happy, and
I
there's
hang out
so
with really
much
cool people.
love and inclusivity and just like positive vibes that are shown throughout all of your photos. So
Thank
it
you.
is it's always so much fun to look at and to just kind of see and flip through, and it like warms our little hearts. So we love
Oh,
it.
thanks. Yeah, I always say, like, especially in the wedding industry, like it's super heteronormative and there's a
Hmm.
lot of like expectations of what a wedding has to be. And so I always open like my little sales calls with, queer, non-traditional, gender non-conforming is the default and expected here.
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna, assume what you're gonna wear or the terms you use for yourself or whatever. There's no expectation. My only job is for you to tell me what you want to do and for me to find ways for you to lean even harder into it using my
Yeah,
resources. That's all.
exactly. No, and that's what we need. We need some more of that. So
Right?
we
Damn.
we love being a part of it. But we blogged for you for 6 months.
Mhm.
And it was so much fun, and we got to write some like really, really cool things. But if you're thinking kind of before you reached out and we started doing this, were you having any challenges or kind of issues when it came to blogging, or things that were just kind of maybe a little bit hard to get over?
Yeah, I think that came from a place of being really confident in the way that I was marketing myself, not necessarily in strategy, but like my colors, logos, you guys made my website for me, but like I came with a lot of the branding done.
Hmm.
I feel confident in that. I feel confident in my offers. I know that I'm doing something important and I do it really fucking well. And just if only people would find me. And so I knew that like everything I could do on the back end to optimize what I was doing had been done. Obviously, there's always room for growth, but like
Hmm.
I'm in a good place. And my sort of marketing solution strategy wise was I spent about a year, most of like mid 2023 to like mid 2024. I made 14 TikToks every 2 weeks. I would sit down for like 3 hours and just make TikToks. And then I saved them into a little folder and made like a folder of evergreen TikToks and basically was like, I'm just going to have one go up every day. And eventually I'm not going to have to make them and just re upload them. And then I realized that like even the re uploading and rewriting the captions and stuff was still a pain in the ass. And
Hmm.
so, like, just having the folder, and I was like, I'm tired. And it still felt like while I was being proactive on social media and like, posting on Instagram and all that, there was still a lot of element of waiting for people to find me, like hoping, because I was still sort of at the beck and call of algorithms that are maybe shutting down or not showing the kind of content that I'm posting. And so there was still, I was working my ass off and hoping that people would find me and knowing that if the people are there. I mean, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I mean, there's queer people everywhere, but like
Hmm.
there's loud queer people here. And I'm like, where are they? Like, if I could shout very specifically to these people and they could find out what I was doing, I'd be set. Why aren't they finding me? And I was already connected with YouTube because you had done my website, and I started seeing like, I mean, I think I'm like the 20th, 21st person that you worked with. I was right in that like first little group of people, and I was like, oh, because I deliver galleries through PickTime, very popular choice for many people, and they had introduced, I think at some point last year, like sort of a really easy blogging function where you can just take a gallery and just like make a little blog out of it. I'm not a giant fan of AI, even though you can like adjust it. I mean, like AI as a concept because of water usage in the planet, whatever. And so like every once in a while I'd be like, let me write a blog. I don't know anything about, I know like maybe 10% of what there is to know about SEO. Like I get it, like I know what it is, but I don't have the bandwidth to care and delve into it. And so I'm just like, career engagement session. Like, I don't know how many times I'm supposed to put it. I'm just like writing what it is. And there was, I'm renaming files, but I'm just describing what's in it. Like, what's the difference between like a meta description and like, am I putting in keywords? What keywords am I even supposed to be doing? I'm just like putting things in and like, again, working really hard and then throwing things out into the ether of the internet, hoping people find it. And so that to me was sort of the difference where I'm like, not only am I not going to be doing all the work I'm currently putting into this, but all the work that I probably should be doing in like keyword research, actually knowing what the hell SEO is and how it works, I don't even have to do that. So not only am I taking things off my plate, I'm taking things that I didn't even want to put on my plate, were already off my plate. And even with like, again, I live in a pretty pricey area. Like I'm not the most inexpensive photographer. And I was like, look, like I can throw this money at them. And if I get one wedding or two, like San Francisco City Hall elopements, I will break even. So even if really barely anything comes from it, I won't have lost money.
Yeah.
And the thing that was really appealing to me is that with Instagram, TikTok, whatever, things do have kind of a shelf life. And even if it's extended like a month or two later, people really aren't going back to those old videos, which is why I'm having to re-upload them.
Yeah.
And with SEO, the way that it was described to me and like blogging in general, like it's sort of like wine, like it just keeps getting more and more effective.
Better.
And that was like my ideal. That's what I wanted TikTok to be, where I could do all this work at the beginning and then let it age and continue to work for me. And that wasn't what was happening. And this is what this does. And just being able to, let me invest this. And even like, it just seems so incredibly unlikely that I wouldn't even book enough to break even over many years of it working. So I was like, in all likelihood, like I'll make some money. And the stuff that you had on your website of like testimonials from like the very first people, I was like, that's looking pretty good for me. And my whole dream is like, sorry, I'm rambling, but like my whole dream is like, I want to be the queer wedding, elopement, proposal, engagement photographer of the San Francisco Bay Area. And how am I supposed to find these people? And so that really was, and we'll talk about this as we go through other questions, but like that was my goal for this, was like, how can I find really aligned people that are looking for, like, these are ideal clients looking for my ideal services in my ideal area. Because even with TikTok, I'm throwing things out there with geotags and people from Brazil. Literally, someone was like, will you come to Brazil? And I was like, if you pay for it. But like, that's not my dream. So that is the question of the podcast, right? Is like, did I achieve this particular goal? More ideal clients, more ideal work.
And I think
I did.
I think everyone kind of runs into that issue of social media is a thing that everyone's like, well, you get clients on social media. That's where people are. That's where you have to be. And so you have to go to social media.
Yeah.
But you're so right that like, it's this hard thing where if you look at, TikTok, not to mention the fact of like, is TikTok even going to exist in a week and a half or not?
Oh, I built over like almost 75,000 followers there. And I'm like, yay, niche famous on the internet. But also like, how many of them are actually ideal clients / anywhere near me?
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you measure success anyway? And then like, is it all going to disappear?
Yeah. And it's so hard because like with, that you're very reliant on the algorithm and if it gets shown to the right people and who it gets shown to. Instagram, you like sort of can search things and look at, but it's really like you intentionally follow people. So you have to know where to look to actually find it. And it's really hard because everyone's like, oh, well, once you have X amount of Instagram followers, or if you get famous on this platform, like everyone's going to start booking you and all that stuff. But it's really not like, it's not that simple and it's not necessarily true.
Like that. No, I had my like most viral TikTok about what I consider my signature shot. I really like to boot the officiant out of the way and get a picture of your first kiss with everyone cheering behind you. I did not invent it. Please don't yell at me. So many people have yelled at me, but I love to do it. I think it's
Hmm.
so fun and special. And that video it has been quote unquote going viral for like a couple years now. It has over 10 million views. That's nothing to sniff at. I think I've gotten 5 weddings from it
Hmm.
over multiple years. And it's like, if you need 10 million views to get maybe 5 people,
Yeah.
your odds are not looking good. Like,
Yeah.
okay, good luck.
And I feel like it's so hard sometimes to separate the idea of like the influencer culture
Yeah.
and what influencers can do and then what running a business like this actually means. It's not like, yes, you can get brand deals and make a ton of money on social media and that's great,
But that's not
but
what I'm trying
that's
to do.
yeah, it's not going to always correlate to a service-based business that you're trying to sell. So
Yeah.
I think when, it's so hard because everyone, your mind like immediately goes to social media. Like, I have to market on social media. And like, absolutely, like we still post on Instagram, we do
Of course.
everything, and we don't just straight up ignore it. But most of those posts are going to last 24 hours if you're lucky. Like that
Yeah.
is the lifespan of it, and that's it. Whereas when you're looking at blogs, it's something like you said, it's going to grow, it's going to build, it's just going to keep getting more and more, traffic to it and traction to it, and it's not something that's going to just kind of go away or disappear or get buried anywhere if it's
Yeah,
out
what are they
for a
going to
longer
do?
amount of time.
Ban Google? Like, you literally can't. You literally can't. Yeah. So it just felt a lot more reliable. And I was like, let me throw this money at them. Like, I'm going to at least make it back,
Yeah.
right? It's either going to be a neutral or a positive outcome. So I'm going to take my chance.
And I think that's also like when it comes to any investments when we come to business, it's so hard because we're like, is this worth it? We don't want to spend money on things that isn't necessarily going to make the money back. But when you sit back and really look at like what it actually costs, and you're like, okay, if I book 2 people from this, that more than covers it. Like that doesn't all of a sudden a price tag feels way lower, and you're like, that's nothing at all.
And especially because it's going to work for years. So I was like, I
Hmm.
mean, I will tell you the numbers later, but like it was not 2 or 3 people. Like, it was a lot of people, and it's only been 6 months. And even you said this to me at the very beginning when I first signed up, was like, you're going to need to wait like at
Hmm.
least 3 months to even get an idea of what is working. So
Yeah.
let's say, based on that, we've actually only been really doing things for 3 months.
Yeah.
So like, anyway, we'll get to the numbers. Spoiler, everyone, it went really well.
It's a hard thing because it isn't that instant gratification thing that you can potentially get from social media. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's like, well, I'm posting, nothing happens. But then one video does well, and you're like, of course, that's the motivation I need to just keep going. And then you kind of spiral.
It
And I
strings you
think,
along.
yeah, and I think sometimes it's really hard to do something that you don't see that instant effect, and you're not like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and have X amount of new followers or have these many like it does
You
take
don't
a little
know.
bit.
And like, I want to feel more in control of my career and my
Yeah.
business. And again, not just going, photos for sale, who's getting married? Like, anyone, please.
Yeah.
Especially like, like, it's a super oversaturated market. And it's like, how do I, and I'm also like looking for very specific clients.
Hmm.
And so it's like, how do you wade through? Like, is it hashtags? No, like, good luck. But yeah, like you said, like, I'm not trying to be an influencer. That was
Hmm.
never what I wanted. And I don't like to talk about it when people find my TikTok and they're like, you have a lot of followers. And I'm like, please don't talk to me. Like, this is not what I intended. But like, even just barely getting by on TikTok and Instagram, I'm spending hours of
Hmm.
time every month being like, I have to schedule all my, Instagram posts and do all my little, like, my Planoly and my little TikTok and my little everything. And again, that would be lovely if that was the type of job I was trying to have. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be a photographer. I want to spend time with people, taking pictures, being at home, doing little meetings, hanging out with cool people, and editing photos. So
Hmm.
all of the hours, like, I'm spending so many hours trying just to get the leads, doing work I don't want to be doing to maybe get to do the chance of doing what I want to be doing. And so that's just
Yeah.
like, it was not working for me.
Yeah. And I think we see that all the time, and you're right. People that can find you on social media, like there's chances that it's just arbitrary people. They're not your ideal clients. And then, I mean, unfortunately in this space too, you get people who are definitely not the type of people that you want to be interacting with, finding your videos, and then
A
you're
lot of
dealing
them
with,
are. And then you're like dealing with like hate and stuff. I
yeah,
love interacting with trolls. I think it's very fun because I have an obscene amount of self-confidence. So it's like, honestly, like my thought about it is I would rather take up a day of a troll's time than ignore them and have them go to somebody that what they say is going to make them harm themselves.
yeah.
I would much rather be the one distracting you for the day and going back and forth like you cannot touch me. I'm a Leo and I've had a lot of therapy. So it's fine. But also like, what if it was just a bunch of really cool queer people being like, how much money can we give you? Like,
Yeah.
So, and that's how we got to be here today with us together.
So let's talk about some of the results that you've seen
Sure.
since we've done this. So just so everyone knows, we blogged for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
We did 12 blog posts. That's where we're sitting right now. I think we published the last one maybe a couple weeks ago, like not super long ago. So it's still relatively in the terms of, or in the eyes of SEO, it's still relatively fresh and new. It
Yeah,
has not been
even the
seen.
oldest things we've done are only like 5-6 months old. So we
Yeah.
haven't even really seen how it's going to go. So this is baby beginnings.
So what have you seen on your end from these blog posts?
I am so scared. I'm so scared because I'm going to have to start to say no to people. Remember when I said it would take like maybe 2 or 3 people? Ha 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 ha. In the last 6 months, I have had 46 leads, 25 of which were directly from blog posts, websites. So let's look, first of all, so scary. So it's out of the 25, these are just leads, not yeses. 25 were from Google. I wrote this down earlier. Out of those 25 that were from specifically these blog posts, 23 out of 25 of those leads were ideal clients. So queer people, non-traditional people, just really fucking cool people that are like, yes, you get what I'm doing. And they're coming to me being like, you are the exact right person for us.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 25, 21 were ideal services. So for me, that's like love-based services, proposals, engagements, weddings. So not only am I getting the exact right people, they're wanting the things that I want to do more of.
Mm-hmm.
So we are so aligned. So out of the 25 that are all these magical things, 11 of them have already booked with me. They are on my calendar. They have given me money. It is happening. And 3 of them are like in process. I've sent out contract and invoice. It seems like they're going to book. We'll see what happens. They seem very confident. I've got them on a call. 7 of those yeses were queer weddings, which is in the end really what I want to be doing. And they had the engagement and proposals that I did out of those all led to, and can we book you for our wedding?
Which is
so
the dream.
It went okay, I would say. And I've already agreed to book with you again over the summer and basically change strategy a little bit. So the first Back Pocket Blogger I did with you is very much like just get me on the map,
Mm-hmm.
Bay Area, LGBTQ, love, self-love, engagement wedding. I'm here. Please find me. And for the second set that we're going to do, basically the last 6 months of the year, similar schedule to what we did the first time, is we are going to highlight all of these weddings that I've booked and get more specific to keywords based on venue, based on city, based on other vendors, and be able to sort of, I don't know if the backlink is the correct term, but like if people are looking up XYZ venue, queer wedding, like, hello, hi. Especially a lot of venues have lists of recommended vendors, and I really have yet to see one that like outwardly includes queer identifying vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's not even useful. So I'm like, okay, if you Google those things, like I'm gonna be right at the top. So it went well. I'm very happy.
I mean, I have to say, first of all, like it makes us so happy to see this and hear this and like see it working. But I think a couple of things when you're looking at it and are like, okay, it's not that I just got 25 inquiries. It's that I got 25 inquiries and like these were people I genuinely wanted to work with because I feel like we can fall into that kind of like the social media trap of like I have all these followers, but they mean absolutely nothing. If
Yay.
you get 100 inquiries and only 2 of them are ideal clients, like that's not helpful.
It doesn't matter.
It
And it doesn't matter. It literally
no.
doesn't matter. Like I have like at this point like 71,000 followers on TikTok and like they're not making me money. Like they're there. I'm so glad. Yay. But like you could be random homophobic person who wants to troll me in a completely different country. Like that's not helpful to me.
Yeah.
So it was like so laser specific. And even the people that weren't, the couple of people that weren't totally ideal clients, they were still looking for love-based services, or they were queer but wanting something totally different,
Mhm.
non-traditional headshots. All the queer therapists are finding me now and being like, I don't want boring LinkedIn photos. I want someone that can like help me with my gender expression in my photo. Like I'm down for that. I never said I really wanted to do therapist headshots, but like I'm totally down to create that space for you. So even the ones that weren't bullseye aligned weren't totally off the mark.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
Still not. And I think too when you said, 21 of them or however many it was were like the services that you wanted to be doing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the other big part because it's so I feel like it's frustrating when you are getting these inquiries and you're like, "Oh, but I wish they would have booked this instead," or like this seems really fun, but like I wish it was a proposal instead or like a wedding
Yeah.
instead or I think, sometimes it can be really scary to try and transition your business and maybe try and focus on a service. And the great thing about blogging is you can get really specific and just have a ton of posts about one specific service and
Yeah.
one thing that you want to do and like the other things can live on your website and stay there, but you're targeting that and you're bringing in that traffic for that specific service with these specific types of clients and like that can make all
Exactly.
the difference.
Like, will I do a corporate event? I don't know if you pay me for it, but like, it's not, I'm not excited. I'm not as
Yeah.
excited. And so it's been really cool to like, I told you this earlier, like I usually have like a few things as we're like, in December approaching the
Hmm.
new year. I usually have like a few things on my calendar, maybe like one or two weddings. Like I walked into January 1st, 2025 with multiple months completely booked out and almost half of my like I need to make this much money to live already contracted. And that's never
Hmm.
happened to me before. Like we're talking 300% increase from my best year. And I'm just like lightly horrified and like, I girl bust so very close to the sun and now I have to actually like go do the
Do
thing.
actually
And
do
like
them.
I'm so excited, but also like I can't get sick. That was my first thought, was like the entire summer I can't get sick because I have a wedding like every weekend.
Hmm.
And so it's like scary, but what a problem to have. I'm not
Yeah.
mad.
It's that like little bit of nervousness, but also that security and like not feeling like you are grasping at straws or like
And just
trying to be
hoping.
like, please come book with me.
Yeah, and
And
feeling like you have to say yes to everything, even if
yeah.
it's something you really don't want to be doing just because you need the money and you're like so
Hmm.
grateful that somebody found you. And that's the really fun thing, is like getting to be not even really needing to be picky because only the people I would be picky for are finding me. And I was already doing that, I think, in my branding of like I like to say that I'm pretty polarizing online.
Hmm.
Like I'm very aggressively myself, and you come across my stuff and either you're like, oh my gosh, like this is the exact person for me, or you're like,
I need
no.
to go the
And
opposite direction.
right, in which case great, I don't want to work with you either, have a fun homophobic wedding. But and that's so, and there's totally a market for like very traditional straight white with a little hint of pink weddings,
Hmm.
and those weddings are so important and I'm so glad that there are vendors for them. That is not me.
Yeah.
And so I don't even really need to be picky because I'm scaring all those people away.
Which is exactly what I want because it saves,
Yes.
I mean, obviously it saves you a lot of time and energy with just the entire process of
Yeah,
not having to, go through the whole inquiry process or get on a call with them or send them. Like, it's just,
the
it's
whole
the
thing.
self filtering.
And even when I do like mentorships for other photographers or other creative business owners, I'm like, if you are trying to appeal to everybody, in your branding, your content, whatever, you're going to be the exact right person for nobody. And
Yeah.
again, like if you're trying to be generic for the sake of bringing in as many leads as possible, you aren't the exact right fit for anybody, and they're just going to go with somebody cheaper because there's
Mhm.
always someone cheaper than you. So you have to be loud and special and specific enough for people to be like, I actually am going to shell out that extra $3,000 to get the exact person I want, you know?
Exactly. That personality, the
Yeah.
what you bring to the table, all of that plays such a big role. And I mean, in general, but like especially when we're thinking about, wedding photography or something like
So
engagement or proposals,
vulnerable.
it is like
Yeah.
one of the most important days of your life. You don't want just any random person walking in
Sure.
and like invading your space.
And especially as like queer people,
Mhm.
like you can't just hire anybody, and it's like actually a matter of safety. And I mean, I found out in my own wedding planning, literally anyone can say that they are queer friendly, anybody. And that does not, that little rainbow on the not.com doesn't mean shit. It does not mean that they know how to do all the pronouns. It does not mean that they're not gonna, I mean, little aside, we went to like one of our dream venues. It was exactly, it ticked all the boxes. We got a tour from the owners who we had already talked to multiple times. Within 5 minutes, they asked if we were sisters. And I was like, you know who we are. What do you mean? We also don't look alike. And then they were like, okay, so which one of you would use the groom space and which one of you would use the bride space? And I'm like, first of all, why are we gendering rooms? Second of all, we're going to get ready together. And they were like, no, you can't do that. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was trying to give you thousands of my gay dollars to pay your bills. And they were horrified. And I was like, well, we're still going to do a first look. And they were like, oh, thank God. And clearly we did not book with them. They also had a really racist music policy on the side. No rap, no hip hop. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? Anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
it did not work out. But yeah, so anyone can say they're queer friendly. So it's like you gotta, it's genuinely like a safety issue. And of course, you want to feel not just tolerated, but celebrated
Mhm.
as queer people getting married or in a vulnerable photo. Like having photos taken is weird.
Yeah.
Having professional photos taken is so weird and it is not normal. And people are freaked out about it. And it's like if you can find the right person that really feels like a friend and like aligns with who you are, that that's priceless.
Yeah. And I think too, especially like in this wedding space, it's so important to be able to like show that off and talk about it and make it very upfront and
Yeah.
like in your face because you're right, like you can say whatever you want and it doesn't make it true, but also there's the like thing of as queer people, like we have to continually come out over and over and over again to literally anyone that we might possibly meet,
Yeah.
and that can be really exhausting, and that's not what you want to do when you're trying to plan your wedding. And
No,
if you can look at someone and be like, all right, well, they specialize in this, or I see 37 other queer couples that they've, done stuff with. So obviously it's not going to be like, are
you
you
don't have to
okay?
educate.
Are you okay with queer people? Or like, can you
Yeah.
do this instead? Can we like it's more of a no-brainer, and it just makes people feel so much more comfortable and confident in,
Yeah.
you and what you're going to give them.
Sure. And like, you always, you scroll down and you try to find like one queer
Hmm.
couple. That's me with straight couples. Like, I want you to scroll through my site and try to find straight people. Although I do have a lot of like incognito queer couples where like both of them are bi or one of them is trans and like
Hmm.
very much passes. But like, there are very few like truly cis straight people on my website, Instagram, whatever. I'm like, you need to go. I want straight people to have to be like, is this a straight friendly place? Like, like again, queer is default, gender nonconforming is default here. I assume you are queer until proven otherwise. Um, oh, God forbid they both have like gender neutral names. And I get the lead, and it's like gender neutral name one, gender neutral name two, and I'm like, please let them be queer. But anyway, yeah, it's a breath of fresh air, and we need more spaces like that.
Absolutely. And it's always something that's going to be something that continually is a thing and continually needs to be pushed, and I think it's why it's so important that like content like this gets put out, because it's
Mhm.
still very niche in, media across the board. Anywhere you look, it's like, oh my god, like there's a gay character on TV, like it's still a thing.
Oh, And
when stuff
especially like
happens.
at this particular moment in history, like I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna still be obnoxiously gay on the internet and like not censor myself,
Hmm.
um, because I know people are looking for those spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. When with everything that we kind of did, was there anything that surprised you about this whole process or blogging, or anything that was kind of your like favorite part about it?
I always liked to see what photos you end up choosing because obviously I gave you like full galleries that were way too many photos for a blog post. I was like, ooh, because like I know which ones are my favorites. I know, and
Hmm.
obviously like I was there for them, and so it was very fun to sort of like perceive myself through someone else's eyes and be like, oh, if I saw this gallery with fresh eyes, these are the ones that drew Inkpot team's
Hmm.
attention. So that was always fun, like getting to go from the text only draft to your blog has been posted and going through and being like, oh, what did they pick for like the little like cover photo, and just seeing it all come together was always really fun. And also I really enjoyed, like, again, I've worked with you before, so like
Hmm.
you know me pretty well, but the way that you, I don't know how you do it, like the way that it really seemed like you deeply stalked everything that I've ever put on the internet, and you really sounded like me to the point where I literally had to like write a note on like the fourth or fifth blog, and I was like, "You're doing too good of a job. I don't actually use these words this often, but like, thanks for the read." But yeah, it was really eerie.
Hmm.
It's sort of like what I, in a magical perfect world, what I wish AI would do in a less creepy robotic way. Like it still felt really personal and not like we're dumping water in the trash,
Yeah.
but I didn't feel like a random person was writing blogs for me that didn't understand me, because that would have defeated the whole thing. Is like, again, I'm trying to really be myself everywhere that I exist online, and it didn't feel like I had to go in and edit copy to try to make it sound like me. You guys were already doing it, and that was really cool. Like what a weird thing that you're able to do. So I really liked that. It was freaky, but I really liked it.
No, I love that, and it is something that we absolutely like. Obviously, we come at all of these blog posts with the sense of the kind of like content driven ideas of when people are looking for it, and googling things, they want answers. So we have to make sure that we answer things, and we're not just like running around in circles and giving them a bunch of fluff, and they're like, that
Yeah.
didn't answer anything that I had a question on.
Well, no, I wouldn't
But
have hired you. I would have written like diary entries and posted them without any keywords at all. Like we don't need to do that.
exactly. But there's also the other side of it needs to still feel like you. Is it going to necessarily be like the copy that a copywriter is going to write on your website? No, but you're also doing
It
different things with the
kind
two
of
different.
did. In terms of like brand voice, like,
Yeah,
you know?
brand voice, absolutely. And I think it really helps when like you have clearly taken time to understand your brand voice and like who you want to be and like the space that you want to fill. And I think it makes it so much easier when you're like clear and confident in that, because we can look at everything that you're doing and be like, okay, you sound exactly the same. We know exactly who you
Yeah.
are. We know exactly who you want to talk to. And
It's the
like,
generic thing again. Like if I was trying to like sound very professional, Jenni Chapman Photography is a portrait photographer based in San Jose. Like that doesn't give you shit to
yeah.
work with. And if I'm like, hey, I'm wearing a pink pony hat. Are you non-traditional? Are you a they them? Come hang out with me at my house. Like, like it's that was weirdly Target lady from SNL, but like you know what I mean? Like and
Yeah.
again, you say that like I worked so hard on this. I did not. I just don't know how to not sound like myself. And so I didn't try to. I think I sort of struggle in the opposite direction, where like in
Hmm.
school and I had to write like very formal, not first person essays, and I'd be like, this part of the novel was totally crazy, and my teacher's like, that is not academic. I don't know how to not talk the way that I talk and write
Yeah.
the way that I talk. So yeah, I guess I gave you a bunch of clues, but like I'd be like, oh, I do say that. Oh, I do write like that. Yeah, and that just sort of made, again, I want to have like a really consistent, accurate brand personal presence wherever I am on the internet. So like if you're finding me on Instagram, the language and the color and the content that you see there is going to be the same as when you go
Yeah.
to my website and on my blog and whatever. And so you guys really made it super cohesive, and I didn't feel like my blog was this detached thing that
Hmm.
like other people wrote. Like there was one I didn't actually read that closely. I was like, it looks good, put it up. And someone messaged me and like was talking to me about it, and I was like, I didn't read it closely to know, but they truly believed I had written it. And I was like, I didn't even barely look at that one. Yeah, so you guys are really good at that, which was important to
Well,
me.
we love it. And it's definitely something that we try to make sure that we're bringing to everything, because we don't want that like jump scare of like, you were saying this over on Instagram and this sounds completely different, and now I
And
like
now
don't know
I'm
who I'm talking.
SEO optimized robot. Like it doesn't do
Exactly.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So we love that. I have one more question for you.
Sure.
How confident do you feel with your blog and your kind of blog posts and what they're doing for you now?
I mean, I could not be more confident. I think I would just venture further into scared of like, how am I going to balance my life now that I have too many wonderful people? I feel really good. And like, it is the perfect balance of creating the content that I would have made on my
Hmm.
own if I had spent hundreds of hours going to SEO school and doing all this work. Like, again, it took off the half-assed work on my plate that I was trying
Hmm.
to do and added on all the detail that I was not willing to go, research and stuff. And the outcome is that I actually have room in my life to take on all these wonderful people and spend those
Exactly.
hours doing that. And I'm no longer worried about, oh, it's the last week of the month. Should I try to bang out some like pick time blogs? Should I set up my Instagram? Like, I feel a lot less shackled to social media. And like, while I'm very much addicted to TikTok and doom scrolling, I don't feel like if it got banned, I really feel like I need to go to another platform.
Hmm.
I would be sad personally, but I
Yeah.
don't feel like I know a lot of people are that like their entire livelihood that they've built has been ruined.
Yeah.
And I feel horrible for those people, and that's really, really real. But at this point, I don't feel like, for a long time, TikTok was my main getting leads thing. And I still get leads from there, but like it's like five. And I don't feel like I'm on the verge of career ruin
Yeah.
with it disappearing hypothetically, which is really great. And again, the whole thing that we said from the beginning, I feel like there's been a really big transformation of just sitting in my little office going, photos for sale, who wants to hire me? I hope someone finds me one day. And I feel a lot more in control of what I'm doing and feeling a lot more confident that the gaps will be filled and the people will come,
Mhm.
because Lord knows they already are. And that's all I wanted, was to
Yeah.
feel I can control so many things in my business, and this is something that I really felt like I couldn't control. And to a degree I still can't, but I feel like a lot more in control of like, I'm not just throwing things on the ether. I have a real strategy that is only going to become more useful,
Hmm.
and more effective. And my only job is to wait for those people to come and spend all my time pouring into these wonderful people that have chosen to invite me into these moments in their lives, which
Yeah.
is, again, I wasn't trying to be an influencer. I was trying to do this. Um,
Exactly.
so I have a really, like, this year is so scary and the world is so scary. And also at the same time, I'm so excited because this is the first year that I really feel powerful and successful. And, I've been doing this for 12 years. This is my 12th year. And I spent so many years, I wasted so many years waiting for
Hmm.
people and doing all the work in the back and going, hello, hello. Again, I know I'm doing something important. I know I'm doing something that people need. Where are they?
Yeah.
And this is the first year that I'm like, the right people are going to find me. And I feel the abundance coming, and I'm going to be okay.
And it's that sense of like, you're, like you said, like you are in control. Your the success or failure of your business is not on whether a social platform stays up or
Because
happens to
it's
be down
not.
that day or whatever
Yeah.
it might be. Like, you have actual control over it and can decide how it, goes.
Yeah. And again, it's not just throwing information out there. These are all, each blog post is like a real lead magnet. is positioning me as an expert at exactly what I want to be doing. One of the ones that does the best, has been doing the best, is like Santa Cruz engagement photos, and it shows a bunch of different examples, some of my favorite places to go. So it's like multifold,
Mm-hmm.
filtering through and bringing the right people to me. And it's just so cool. And all these people are so, when you run a creative business, and you know this, like, I'm sure there are photographers that are more talented than me and have better gear than me and are better at editing than me. But what I'm really selling is me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm selling me as a person. And that feels really vulnerable too. And realizing that finally people that, I mean, I got a lead from a couple that wrote on their inquiry form, I'd literally never spoken to them, "You are our favorite photographer." And I was like, I don't even know you. And like, we're real friends now. And like, they were just like, what do you need? What are the next steps? Let's go. Someone found me just before we started Backpack Blogger that was like, we were looking for like a queer photographer that was also neurodivergent.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you're the only one that we found. And I was like, okay, you're in the right place. And so it's less about editing style and, what camera I have, and more about being a safer space
Yeah.
and feeling like a friend to these people, and then getting to actually be friends with really cool people. Like, I get money and really cool friends.
What could be better?
Okay. Well, okay. I'm not even mad. Yeah, it's been really great, and I'm super grateful, and I will shout your praises forever, and I'm so excited to do it again.
Well, we are honestly like so excited about what you already have for this year and like what's gonna grow. It's January and like I know things are just gonna get better and better and it's
I have
always
3
so fun.
weddings this month.
Which is great. I feel like
In January. Well, they're all like emergency queer weddings, unfortunately. But hello? Like, I have whole months that I'm like, I hope no one sends me an inquiry for this month because it's full. And also, I'm like just excited about every single one of them.
yeah. It's an exciting time, it's a scary time, but honestly, we love seeing all of this put out there and like celebrating and being a part of our little part in
Not little.
putting more queer love out there and
Yeah.
making sure that people do succeed. And so we have absolutely loved working with you. We can't wait to see all of the new things that this year brings. If other people want to check you out, maybe read a couple of blog posts, see your
Please do.
photos, maybe book one of those few spots on your calendar this year, where can they find you?
You can find me at Jenni Chapman Photography. That is my username on Instagram, and hopefully not rip soon TikTok. JENN with an I at the end, CHAPMAN photography. So at that, Instagram and TikTok, and then just JenniChapmanPhotography.com. Come hang. I have information about weddings, not weddings, all the different informational things. I do, particularly for weddings, offer sliding scale options for queer people. Because again, if I'm the right person for you and you don't have a list of 5 perfect people for you that feel safe, I don't want that to stop you from having the experience that you want to have if you can't afford it. So
Mm-hmm.
come hang out. Everything is customizable, everything, super affirming, super fun. Come hang, and maybe we'll become real life friends too. It'll be super fun. Yeah, that's basically where I exist, and I can't wait to meet people. Yay.
Perfect. Well, we will put all of those links in the description below. Definitely go check them out. Thank you again so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on and talking today, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.